Imagine this. You suddenly have $100,000 in cash. What would you do with it? Some people might think about buying a new car. Others might renovate their home. Some might just leave the money sitting in the bank. But here is the truth. If you use that money wisely, you can make it work for you, and over time, it can grow and help you build real wealth. Let's start with the worst possible choice. Doing nothing. If you leave $100,000 in a regular savings account in the United States, most banks will pay you almost nothing in return. We are talking about maybe 0.01%, up to 0.5% per year. That means in 1 year you might make only $10, maybe $500 at most. Now compare that with inflation in the US, which usually runs at 2 to 3% per year. Your money is actually losing value, so doing nothing is the fastest way to get poorer. Now let's move to safer options. If you want safety and easy access to your cash, you could choose a high-yield savings account or a certificate of deposit. Today, some online banks in the US offer around 4 to 5% annual interest on $100,000. That is $4,000 to $5,000 per year, guaranteed, with almost no risk. Another safe choice is US Treasury bonds. A 10-year Treasury bond might pay you about 4% a year. Again, safe and predictable, but it will not make you rich quickly. Now let's talk about the stock market. This is where many Americans build long-term wealth. Historically, the S&P 500, which represents the 500 largest companies in the US, has returned 7 to 10% per year on average, even after adjusting for inflation. So what happens if you invest $100,000 into a low-cost index fund that tracks the S&P 500? After 10 years, at 8% growth per year, your $100,000 could grow to around $215,000. After 20 years, it could be worth about $466,000. And after 30 years, you would have close to $1 million. That is the power of compound growth. Your money makes money, and then that money makes even more money. Real estate is another powerful path in the US. Imagine using your $100,000 as a down payment on a $400,000 rental property. With a mortgage, you control a much larger asset than the cash you put down. If the property increases just 3% per year, after 10 years, it could be worth about $537,000. And if you rent it out, the rental income could cover your mortgage payments and even leave you with some profit each month. Of course, real estate comes with responsibilities, maintenance, tenants, property taxes, but it is one of the most common ways Americans grow their wealth. Another option is entrepreneurship, or starting a business. Some people invest in themselves. Imagine using your $100,000 to start a small company, buy a franchise, or launch an online venture. This path carries the highest risk, but also the highest reward. A well-run business could double or even triple your money in just a few years, but be careful. Many small businesses fail, and you could lose most of your investment. This path is not for everyone, but if it works, the results can be life-changing. The smartest investors rarely choose only one strategy. They diversify. In practice, this could mean splitting your $100,000 into different areas. Some into the stock market for growth, some into US treasuries for safety, some as a down payment for real estate, some in a high-yield savings account for emergencies, and maybe even a small part to start a side hustle or to invest in your skills. With this kind of balance, you get growth, stability, income, and opportunity. Now here is the most important lesson. Building wealth is not about getting rich overnight. It is about mindset. It is about using your money wisely, letting it grow over time, and staying patient and consistent. $100,000 can be the foundation for financial freedom if you avoid letting it sit idle, if you take advantage of compound growth, and if you diversify your investments. So, what can $100,000 really do for you in America? If you do nothing, it will lose value. If you choose only safe options, it will grow slowly. If you invest in stocks or real estate, it can multiply over time. And if you invest in yourself, the potential has no limits. The choice depends on your goals, your tolerance for risk, and how long you are willing to wait. But one thing is certain. If you invest wisely, $100,000 is not just money. It is an opportunity to build lasting wealth and to create a better future. If you enjoyed this content and found it helpful, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss the next tips. Your engagement helps bring more valuable content to the community.